In the ancient land of Babylon, during the reign of King Nebuchadnezzar, a story of immense courage and unwavering faith unfolds. Their story, found in the book of Daniel, is not just a historical event. It is a profound exploration of loyalty, divine power, and the nature of true worship. King Nebuchadnezzar, a ruler of vast power and even vaster pride, decided to erect a monument to his own glory. On the plain of Dura, he constructed a colossal statue made entirely of gold. It was a breathtaking sight, soaring 90 feet into the sky, so massive it cast a shadow over the entire city. This was more than just a work of art. It was a symbol of the king's absolute authority, a demand for total submission from every corner of his sprawling empire. When the statue was complete, the king issued a decree that reverberated through the provinces. He commanded that at the sound of the horn, flute, lyre, and all kinds of music, every person, regardless of rank or origin, must fall down and worship the golden image. The penalty for disobedience was swift and terrifying, death in a blazing, fiery furnace. Among the officials and administrators of Babylon were 3 young Jewish men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They had been brought to Babylon as exiles, but had risen to positions of prominence due to their wisdom and integrity. However, their primary allegiance was not to the king, but to their God, the God of Israel, who had commanded them, "You shall have no other gods before me." For them, this was not a matter of political compliance. It was a fundamental question of identity and worship. As the music began to swell across the plain of Dura, a sea of people prostrated themselves before the gleaming idol, but 3 figures remained standing, their defiance calm, unshaken, and visible to all. Their refusal did not go unnoticed. Certain officials, eager to find fault with the Jewish administrators, rushed to the king. They reported that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego had ignored his command. The king's initial reaction was one of disbelief, which quickly turned to a simmering rage. He had these 3 men brought before him, his voice laced with menace. He offered them one final chance: bow when the music played again, or face the furnace. But the young men's response was filled with a quiet, resolute courage that stunned the court. They informed the king that they had no need to defend themselves. Their answer was simple and absolute. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, they declared, the God we serve is able to deliver us from it, and he will rescue us from your majesty's hand. But then they added a crucial statement, a testament to the depth of their faith. But even if he does not, they continued, we want you to know, your majesty, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold you have set up. Their loyalty was to God alone, regardless of the outcome. They would not bow. They would not worship another. Fury consumed the king. His face contorted with rage, and his demand for obedience became a bloodthirsty command for retribution. He ordered that the furnace be heated 7 times hotter than its usual intensity, so hot that the flames leaped from its opening with a ferocious roar. The heat was so extreme that the soldiers, the strongest in the king's army, who were tasked with binding Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, were themselves consumed by the flames as they approached the furnace. They perished instantly, mere casualties of the king's uncontrollable wrath. Bound and helpless, the 3 friends were then thrown into the heart of the roaring blaze. The furnace door was sealed, and the crowd watched, expecting to see nothing but smoke and ash. Smoke and fire wrapped around them, a churning vortex of destruction. To everyone present, their fate was sealed. But then, inside the inferno, something extraordinary happened, something impossible. The king, peering into the furnace, leaped to his feet in utter astonishment. His voice, now filled with confusion and awe, cut through the silence. "Weren't there 3 men that we tied up and threw into the fire?" he asked his advisers. They confirmed that there were. "Look," he exclaimed, "I see 4 men walking around in the fire, unbound and unharmed, and the 4th looks like a son of the gods." The flames did not harm them. The ropes that had bound their hands and feet were burned away, but their own bodies were untouched. Their clothes were not singed, their skin was not blistered, and not a single hair on their heads was burned. They were not just surviving in the fire, they were walking freely within it. And there, walking among the flames with them, was a 4th figure, a divine presence. A protector whose radiance turned a place of execution into a sanctuary of deliverance. This was a presence that turned death into deliverance, a stunning reversal of all natural laws. The very fire meant to destroy them had instead become the setting for a miraculous rescue. Nebuchadnezzar, his pride shattered and his mind reeling, could not believe his eyes. He cautiously approached the opening of the furnace and called out to them by name, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out, come here." And from the heart of the fire the three men stepped out onto the ground, completely unharmed. The governors, prefects, and royal advisers crowded around them, examining them in disbelief. There was not even the smell of smoke on their clothes. They had been cast into the most intense fire imaginable and had emerged without a single mark. A living testament to a power far greater than the king's, their unshakable faith had transformed the furnace from a chamber of death into a place of divine protection. Humbled and awestruck, the king proclaimed the power of their God. He declared to the entire empire, "Praise be to the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and rescued his servants." They trusted in him and defied the king's command and were willing to give up their lives rather than serve or worship any god except their own God. He then issued a new decree. Anyone, from any nation or people, who spoke a word against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego would be put to death. The three men, who had faced death itself, were then promoted to even higher positions in the province of Babylon. Through their unshakable faith, they had not only survived but had emerged victorious, changing the heart of a king and the law of the land. Their courage became a timeless testament, a story passed down through generations. It demonstrates that faith in God is a force stronger than any fire, a conviction that remains unbroken even in the fiercest trial. The story of the fiery furnace is a powerful reminder that true allegiance to God sometimes requires radical defiance of worldly powers, and that even in the moments of our greatest peril, we are never truly alone.